Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And Marianne behind the camera?
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food. Hey, sis, do you like oysters?
No.
Well, how about corn oysters?
As long as there's no actual oysters in it, I would like
There
it.
is no actual oysters in there, which I'd be okay with, but I know you don't like. But we're going to make some corn oysters. We are really at the very end of the line when it comes to our fresh corn, which we have been enjoying all summer, haven't we, Mare?
Yeah.
And we are blessed that we have a couple of corn farms, like within a couple miles of here, and they grow lots of delicious sweet corn. And here in Michigan, you know, the season is usually, August through October. So the last plantings are now being harvested. So anyways, Mare, here's what I've got in this bowl. I've got 2 ears of corn, okay, that I have. Matter of fact, I'm going to break this up a little bit. That I have, taken off the cob. And if we look, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but at the bottom here, there's some of that white corn milk, yes, which you love because that's got the sweetness in it. But I just want to break up some of these larger clumps. So, okay, we've got 2 ears of corn. Then I took 2 eggs and I separated them. I put the yolks in here, and I put the whites in here, and I whip this up and whip those egg whites stiff. But let's come back here for a minute. I'm going to just beat these egg yolks a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the egg yolks in with the corn and stir that around. This is a nice side dish to use. You know, these are also great hors d'oeuvres or appetizers at dinner, Marianne. You could bring out a platter of these with maybe a couple of different dipping sauces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would be a nice kind of first course. All right, let's stir those egg yolks here into our corn. All right. Then what I've got, Mare, is I've got a 1/4 cup of just all-purpose flour. Okay? We're going to put that in there. Then we've got a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay? And I've got a teaspoon here of salt. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And I've got about a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, which will give it a kick. Don't like cayenne pepper? Omit it, okay? Like it really spicy? Add more. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's combine our flour and seasonings with the corn here. Okay. Then we have our 2 beaten egg whites. And we're going to fold that in, Mare. Just fold it. Until it's sort of incorporated. We don't want to flatten out those whites. How's that? See that? Got it all nicely mixed in. Okay, now let me get some of this stuff out of the way. We like to keep it clean in the kitchen, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we clean as we go. And believe me, when I'm in the kitchen, there's always plenty to clean because I tend to make a little bit of a mess. So, Mayor, for our friends who are our vintage appliance fans, let me take this up a little bit. We're going to use this vintage Sunbeam skillet, and this is the small size. How cute is that? Has a lid to it, which we're not going to need here, but it is not completely immersible. This is sort of before the fully immersible ones came out. You can put it in water up to about here. You can't put this part with the heat control in the water. It'll mess it up. But this was the sort of the earlier versions of the Sunbeam skillet. They are aluminum, and I'm going to take the heat up to about 360. I forget who it is, Mayor, but one of our food friends asks when I do these electric skillets, and like this one, it has a listing of the heat temperature to cook things in. Always says, what's the heat temperature for liver? Well, it's on here, right there, liver, 360 degrees. Minute steak, pork chop, sausage, fish, potatoes, ham, pancakes, eggs, bacon. It's all right there. Okay. Let me get a spoon here. And so I've got a little bit of vegetable oil in the bottom of this pan. Not much, probably half a cup or so, third of a cup. And what we're going to do, Mayor, is we are going to make our oysters. So I'm just going to put in a couple of spoonfuls. And this is an old recipe, and my understanding from the recipe, Mayor, is that the reason they're called corn oysters is that the finished product sort of resembles a fried oyster. So there you go. Okay. So they are sizzling away. I'm going to get some paper towels and a platter, and we will put these out so that they can drain a little bit when they come off our delicious last of the summer corn oysters. All right, sis, I'm going to check the bottom. They look like they're browning, and I'm going to do a flip. Oh, look at that. Huh? How good does that look? So we're going to...
They almost look like potato pancakes.
Kind of, don't they? Okay. So we'll do the other side, and then... Not sure how many we're going to get out of this batch. If I had to guess, probably 10 or so. You could make them, again, you could make them smaller if you wanted to do it as like an hors d'oeuvre. As a side, I think, you might want to make them this size. But, yeah, they have a wonderful smell. And so, anyways, then I've got this ready to go. So if you were batching these, what I would suggest is kind of a cooling rack in a baking tray. I've got some paper towel under there to absorb any oil. But this is a nice way to keep these crisp, because then we can just put them in the oven, Mayor, and keep them warm. in there until it's time to try them. Corn oysters. Honey, I am going to put one of these on the plate here, and it looks like this recipe, the size I'm making them anyways, we're going to get 11 or, let's say 11, not quite 12, but let's say 11. What do you think? Does it look good enough to eat?
It sure does.
Does in my book. Let's open it up. I'm going to take a little. There it is. Mmm. You know, it's really, you got that, see that interior?
Yeah.
Very light. You know what, it's like a corn fritter, just about. You're certainly getting a lot of the corn flavor, and what I like is that corn is still crunchy. Not really getting a lot of the cayenne. I'm getting some. I think probably for most people, this is probably seasoned. You know me, I like a little spice, but very good. If I were making these just for me, I maybe would up the cayenne a little bit, but I think for general consumption, these are great. Would be great with a ranch dip, okay, or something like that. Would be delicious, served warm. Very nice. So we made corn oysters, and I know you don't like oysters, Mary, but I promise you're going to like these, okay?
Okay.
So thanks for working the camera, honey.
You're welcome.
And we'll thank our food friends. The recipe, you know where it is, Mary?
Below the description.
Correct. And let's tell them that website.
Cavalcadefood.com.
Cavalcadefood.com, right on. So, we appreciate you watching. Please share, like, and subscribe if you're so inclined. And we will look forward to seeing you again real soon, right back here on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.
Bye.